This ticket's fake! Prove it! Ugh. You have no idea who I am.
Garbage belongs in the trash bin, not in business class. Margaret Wilkins didn't mince words. She snatched Emily's sleek leather briefcase and flung it to the ground. The latch popped open with a sharp crack, and Emily's high-end laptop smacked against the tiled floor of Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. The sound of shattering glass from the screen echoed through the bustling Terminal 2, cutting through the din of announcements and rolling suitcases like a knife. At 24 years old, dressed in worn khakis and a Harvard University sweatshirt, Emily Carter looked every bit the part of a grad student rushing to catch a flight. But appearances can be deceiving, and in that moment, as passengers pulled out their phones to record the spectacle, Emily felt the familiar sting of judgment based on nothing more than how she presented herself. Have you ever been sized up and dismissed in an instant, reduced to a stereotype before you could even speak? It's a question that would haunt the onlookers long after the dust settled. Terminal 2 was a hive of activity that evening, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets, casting long shadows across weary faces. The air was thick with the scent of fast food grease from the nearby burger joint, mixed with the sharp tang of jet fuel wafting in from the tarmac. Emily staggered back, her sweatshirt snagging on a stanchion rope. She knelt to gather her scattered papers, financial reports, merger projections, all stamped with the Horizon Airways logo, while Margaret planted herself firmly in front of the business class boarding line, arms folded like a fortress. Margaret's badge shone under the harsh lights. Margaret Wilkins, gate supervisor, 18 years of service. Her uniform, a stiff navy blazer with synthetic sheen, rustled as she shifted, exuding an aura of unearned authority. Whispers rippled through the crowd as more phones lit up, flashes popping like fireworks. A toddler's cry pierced the air, blending with the rhythmic clack of luggage wheels and the muffled roar of planes taxiing outside. "Young woman, I need verification that this ticket is legitimate," Margaret barked, her voice booming over the gate speakers. "Company rules demand extra checks for folks like you." She lingered on those last words, letting them drip with implication. Emily's hands shook slightly as she collected her items, the cool grit of the floor sticking to her fingers. She kept her face neutral, a mask honed from years in high-stakes meetings where she was often the youngest and only woman of color in the room. The departure board flickered, Flight 512 to New York, final boarding in 10 minutes. The digital clock pulsed urgently, heightening the drama. Margaret waved Emily's boarding pass dramatically for the growing audience. "Business class? How convenient. Show me the credit card you used." Emily pulled out her wallet, revealing a platinum card and a small photo of her with an elegant woman in a power suit, though Margaret was too fixated on the plastic to notice the Horizon Airways backdrop. "This isn't standard procedure," Emily said evenly, her voice steady from countless negotiations. "But if you must." Margaret held the card aloft, squinting. "A card like this for someone your age? With a $600 fee? Explain that." Emily glanced at her Rolexa subtle luxury and murmured, "My aunt's plane should be landing soon. She'll want to know about Horizon's hospitality." Margaret laughed, a grating sound that turned heads. "Auntie to the rescue? What's she gonna do, file a complaint?" The irony hung thick, unnoticed by all but Emily. Nearby, passenger Lisa Ramirez fumbled with her phone, starting an Instagram live. "You won't believe the racism going down at O'Hare right now," she whispered. Viewers trickled in. 5, 15, 32. Comments flooded. "Call HR. What's the airline? This is outrageous." 8 minutes left. Emily photographed Margaret's badge and started recording. "For documentation, state your name and role." Margaret's brows shot up. "Who are you reporting to?" "I'm in charge here." The tension built like a storm. Families edged closer, business travelers frowned from their laptops. Teens giggled while filming. Emily remained poised. "I'd like to board. I have a critical meeting in New York." Margaret sneered. "Should have thought of that before sneaking into business class." Security guard Robert Klein approached, hand on his belt. "Issue here." Margaret gestured dismissively. "Suspicious passenger. Ticket doesn't add up." Emily turned to him. "I need Horizon's corporate contact and your details." Robert shifted, uneasy under the cameras. Lisa's stream hit 200 viewers. I've flown this route 12 times this year in business, Emily stated. First time I've been grilled like this. Margaret scoffed. 12 times? On what salary? A sharp-eyed traveler glimpsed Emily's portfolio edge, spotting the Horizon logo, but said nothing. 5 minutes. I'm not a thief, Emily said softly. Especially not with the airline I've trusted for years. Margaret narrowed her eyes. Protocol is protocol. Which protocol lets you toss bags? Emily countered. A voice from the crowd. She did it on purpose. Lisa stepped up. I saw it all. Margaret flushed. Stop filming. Restricted area. Emily interjected. Horizon Policy 4512 allows recordings for service quality. No secure tech involved. Margaret blinked, stunned by the insider knowledge. Assistant Supervisor Karen Ellis emerged, her smile plastic. Problem. Margaret pointed. Doesn't look like business class material. For minutes. Lisa's stream. For 100 viewers. Emily dialed a contact labeled Ops Security. Review Terminal 2. Gate 17 footage last 15 minutes. Margaret demanded. Who are you calling? Emily. Following protocol for bias claims. 3 minutes. The crowd buzzed. Passengers groaned at potential delays. Robert's radio crackled. Resolve it fast. Karen tried. We need to confirm for passengers like you. Emily. Like what? The question lingered. Charged. An announcement. Horizon Flight 312 from Dallas now at Gate 9. Emily checked her watch. Right on time. 2 minutes. Margaret grabbed the mic. Delay on Flight 512 due to security check. Groans erupted. Calls were made. Lisa's stream exploded. 800 viewers. Comments raged. Sue them. Airport bias. 1 minute. Robert moved in. Secondary screening required. Emily, whose rules? The odd query confused them. Her phone buzzed. She smiled. Let's wait a second. Someone should see this. 30 seconds. The air crackled. Margaret. Security. Remove her. Emily. I wouldn't. Heels clicked sharply from the hall confident. Commanding. Emily straightened. That's my escort. The footsteps halted. Emily opened her portfolio, handing a card to Margaret's shaking hand. Emily Carter, Chief Operating Officer, Horizon Airways. Time froze. Margaret paled. Robert dropped his radio. Karen's grin shattered. Lisa's stream hit 1,500. She's the COO? Plot twist. Emily showed her ID, executive badge gleaming with clearance. Heading to New York for board review. I travel comfortably. Margaret stammered. This can't. Emily, my aunt, CEO Victoria Carter, expects my updates soon. The name electrified the crowd. Phones searched. Forbes features, CNBC profiles. Victoria Carter, aviation powerhouse. Margaret, your aunt's the CEO? Emily, she'll hear about this service. Footsteps neared. Emily's mind flashed to her first bias encounter at 17, en route to a finance summit. An agent doubted her ticket. Victoria arrived, but Emily vowed to handle it solo one day. Today was that. Robert. Ma'am, we didn't know. How can we help? Emily. Footage and reports from all. Victoria Carter entered like a whirlwind, 55, in a tailored Chanel suit, flanked by aides. David Lawson with files, Elena Vargas with a tablet, and security scanning the scene. Crowd snapped photos. Emily, dear. Victoria's voice warm, yet steel-edged. I got your text mid-flight from Dallas. Quite the mess. Emily, meet Margaret Wilkins, gate supervisor, 18 years. She's shown me our protocols in action. Victoria zeroed on Margaret. I'm Victoria Carter, CEO of Horizon Airways. You've been helping my niece with boarding. Margaret dropped the card. Misunderstanding. Protocol for suspicious. Victoria raised a hand. Stop. David stepped up. Review complete, per your request. Victoria, share it publicly. Transparency and failures. David, Margaret Wilkins, ID 842-1765, 16 incidents past 24 months. 9 involve minorities. 3 lawsuits pending. Liability, $3.1 million. Murmurs spread. Lisa's stream, 2,800 viewers. Victoria advanced. In 25 years, turning Horizon from regional to $9.2 billion giant. I've never been so ashamed. You didn't just bias a passenger, you targeted my niece, your COO, who crafted our ops rules. Her words sliced. You aired your prejudice live, damaging our brand and my family. Margaret, I didn't know who she was. Dressed like that. Protocols. Victoria, that's the issue. You judged a young black woman in casuals as suspicious. No real check, just bias. Elena drafted releases. Security relieved Robert. Emily's hands trembled slightly, hidden. Victoria, Margaret, you're fired immediately. Surrender badge. Margaret buckled. 18 years. My daughter in med school. Insurance. Victoria, consequences. Emily touched her arm. While hurtful, this exposes flaws. To crowd, this sparks reform at Horizon. Victoria, $18 million for anti-bias programs. Emily, mandatory training, AI monitoring, external audits. Margaret surrendered her badge, escorted out. Robert suspended. Victoria embraced Emily briefly, CO and COO, aunt and niece. Now, flights and reforms await. Margaret hadn't always been this way. Starting 18 years ago as a ticket agent after her husband left her with a young daughter, Sophie, Horizon offered stability. She excelled, winning awards for compassion, like aiding a stranded veteran. But 10 years in, the Harlan case changed her. VP Harlan pushed unwritten vigilance for non-typical premium passengers after fraud spikes. Margaret flagged a man in jeans. He was a board member's nephew. Reprimanded, Harlan denied guidance. She learned, enforce shadows, but get caught alone. Years built defenses, scrutinize misfits. It flagged real issues sometimes, reinforcing bias she denied. That day, Sophie's tuition hike stressed her. Emily triggered alarms as a mismatch. She wasn't evil, just warped by a system enabling quiet discrimination amid financial strain. It didn't excuse. It explained her fall when facing Victoria and Emily. On the corporate jet, Victoria dozed after 18 hours. Emily, in the lavatory, finally crumbled. Tears flowed. The mirror showed poise cracking. Don't cry, she whispered. But sobs came, the hurt of dehumanization before crowds. A knock, Emily. Victoria entered, sitting on the floor. It's okay to feel. Emily, I can't afford weakness as COO. Victoria, strength is channeling pain, not ignoring it. Emily, what about those without my backup? Victoria, that's why we changed systems. Emily admitted, I nearly snapped. Victoria, but you chose strategy. Like when I acquired that sexist rivals firm. Emily composed, let's reform. They returned, bonded by purpose. 3 months later, Lisa Ramirez, now passenger advocate director, faced doubt. Email from veteran manager Harold Jenkins. Your ideas lack operational grasp. More experience needed. Lisa's mom, Rosa, called. They don't respect you. Lisa, some see a young Latina outsider. Rosa recalled her own first-class humiliation years ago, saving for tickets to Mexico. Next meeting, Lisa challenged Harold with data. Your region lags and changes despite high complaints. Zoe wait. Emily joined unexpectedly, signaling support. Harold committed. Lisa blended metrics with stories, earning VP promotion. For months on, Emily and Abu Dhabi Lounge adapted the Carter Protocol for cultural clashes. Regional head Faisal Al-Mansour. Status recognition is respect, not bias. Emily crafted frameworks. Objective honors based on status, not looks. Adaptations for Asia. Bowing over eye contact in Japan. VIP rules in India without favoritism. Core. Prevent discrimination flexibly. Case studies showed success, maintaining dignity culturally. 6 months later, at Aviation Summit in Atlanta, Margaret attended Emily's keynote on the protocol. Slipping out, Emily approached. Ms. Wilkins. They talked. Margaret's hardships, genuine change as ambassador. Emily's calm from practice and purpose. Margaret, do you forgive? Emily, it's about shared fixing systems. They parted allies in progress. Margaret's panel. From problem to solution, if I can change, systems can. 1 year later, plaque at O'Hare Terminal 2. Here, dignity in travel advanced. Respect for all passing through. Complaints down 97%. Satisfaction soared. Protocol industry-wide. Lisa and Emily watched a young black woman in Harvard gear board unchallenged change embodied. What do you think about the themes of injustice and violence in everyday life? Share your opinions in the comments below. Take a stand. Express your views. Your stories could spark more change.